Welcome to another episode of The Canon, where I bring you the latest superhero and comic book movie news. I'm your host, Terry, and I'm ready to bring you stuff that matters. Starting off with the Shazam movie being split into two parts. DC has announced that the Shazam movie will now be split into one movie focusing on the title character and one movie focusing on his nemesis, Black Adam, which is played by The Rock. I'm going to keep this, but I want to keep it with the caveat that the Black Adam movie comes first. So when this first came out, I immediately thought, okay, yes, Black Adam's going to be the prequel movie to set up the origin of the powers and the origin of his story and lead up into why he's about to fight Shazam. But after going on the internet, it seems that everybody else seemed to think Black Adam was just going to be a spinoff after Shazam, and they're going to fast track Shazam. So for me, I think chronologically it makes sense. Black Adam was the champion of Magic before Billy Batson, and this shows you the power before we see Shazam, because they have the same power, so you get to be familiar with what the powers are, how to get them, and then you get to see his background and why he is the way he is, and then you come with a Shazam movie. So The Rock came out talking about a meeting he had with DC that went well, and of course this was part of it, where he's been on for years, signed on for the movie, but the movie was originally slated for 2019, so it's not a surprise that nothing has happened yet. A lot of people are like, why hasn't anything happened? This movie doesn't come out 2019. So I think this is a way to get The Rock involved with something, to get him moving. He's anxious and they want to appease him. So definitely this makes most sense to go with the Black Adam movie first, because he's the one that's there. They don't have a Shazam. They don't have a writer-director for that movie. So let's get The Rock's movie going. It sets up the fans, and then it leads right into the Shazam movie in 2019 where they end up fighting. So I'm going to keep it just on the caveat that Black Adam comes first, and we'll see what they end up doing. Alright, speaking of DC and what they end up doing, they are trying to do a Green Lantern so bad. You got the news they're fast-tracking the Lethal Weapon in space. Blah. But they're doing that Green Lantern Corps movie with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Now we hear that Hal Jordan has a short list of actors that includes Tom Cruise from the Mission Impossibles. Then you got Jake Gyllenhaal from Nightmare, Nocturnal Animals, Prince of Persia. You got actually in Marvel as Rocket Raccoon, and played an American Sniper. And then you got James Marsden, who was Cyclops in the X-Men series. And then you got Armie Hammer, who has been in a lot of different movies. Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was in that bad Disney movie. I can't remember what it was called, where he was like, I don't know, but he's been in some movies. And then of all people, you got Deadpool himself, Ryan Reynolds. Yes, people, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, former Hal Jordan, is on the list. So it seems as if most of these news outlets have confirmed with their sources that yes, he is on the list. This is not a fake rumor. So going with the idea that this is real, I'm going to sweep the list. Just because I look at the list and I don't see anybody that fits Hal Jordan for me. I think Armie Hammer would be the best choice. If gun to my head I had to pick one. But for the most part, I would just say these guys don't fit. And so, sweep it on that basis. Now, on the idea of Ryan Reynolds coming back, I don't believe it for a second. Studios go out of their way to dumb down things for fans, to spoon feed you things. Some studios more than others. And one thing they do is, if something's going to be confusing, they completely avoid it. Christian Bale didn't become Batman because they don't want people to think, hey, is this new DCU connect to those movies? And I don't get it. So that's one reason he didn't come back. I just don't see them having the guy who's playing Deadpool for Fox also played the old Hal Jordan for a movie that doesn't connect with your new movies. And now you're going to have 1,000 different questions, because us as fans, we can handle it. But there's a lot of common people that be like, wait a minute, is that Deadpool guy, is Wade Wilson now a Green Lantern? And so they can't handle that. So I just don't see it. the guy that made a bad movie for you, lost money, almost ended his career. He blew up with success. Now that's probably one of the reasons that run into him, but it's weird to think that they would consider it, but WB is dumb, so I wouldn't be shocked. But yes, after sweep it overall, we'll have to see. The interesting thing is that Ryan Reynolds has not denied it yet. He is social media savvy. He has the alter ego Deadpool, which he can always do crazy stuff and inventive stuff and hide behind the mask, but he hasn't denied it yet at all. So we'll have to see how that works out and if anybody on that list actually ends up with the job. Speaking of getting the job, Peter Dinklage apparently has a job on Infinity Wars. Last week we talked about him looking into a role, but it's being reported that he's signed on to the movie and he was caught getting his hair dyed fire engine red. So everybody thinks he's going to be Pip the Troll. From my research, Pip is REYNOLDS. So it makes sense in the story arc for him to be in Infinity Wars. I don't know, maybe it was a change that Peter wanted. Maybe he wanted to change his hair color because of the season. I don't know. But more likely than not, it's for a role, and why would you need a hair color change if you're doing a mocap or a voiceover? So obviously he's in a live action role. If he is Pip the Troll, then he's going to play a really big part between the two movies. So I'm going to keep it for now. It is very much a rumor, but I think it fits. The character fits in the story, and Peter fits as a person. Not like that, but I still don't like people playing for different teams. Even the idea of Bradley Cooper being Green Lantern and Rocket Raccoon is weird, but again, it wasn't a big role that Trask was in X-Men Days of Future. Miles Morales has been confirmed to be the lead in the animated Spider-Man movie for Sony. So Sony is putting out an animated Spider-Man movie, not a direct-to-DVD, but an actual in-the-theaters motion picture. And they've confirmed that Miles Morales will be the star and not Peter Parker. I'm going to keep it. It makes sense. You already have Peter Parker. You got Tom Holland, all those big things in live action. So why do a second one? It makes sense to go ahead and diversify it and give the audience something different. Now, why you need an actual motion picture, I don't know. I think a direct to DVD and whatnot would be just as good, but apparently they got a reason for it. So getting Miles Morales, okay, good. Open up the Spideyverse, because Sony wants to make a universe with the Spider-Man villains, with the other characters, and with Miles Morales, I'm assuming. So I wouldn't be shocked if this is a test in which they see how the audience reacts to Miles, and if it goes well, then they'd be down to maybe bring him into the live action universe. So I'm going to keep it. I don't think they need the movie, but yeah, why not? Alright, so that is the news for today. Go to the comments section and let me know what you thought about anything. Give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe. Remember, the canonvlog@gmail.com. Hit me up with any questions, any feedback, anything you want me to cover. And if you heard it here, it is official canon.